Actually there is no particular last date. Okay, as the chapters are being completed, you need to upload it chapter wise. Okay, that is just like the normal in the school you were submitting the notebook after completion of the chapter, and that likewise. Okay, means one chapter will get completed, notes will be shared, you have to scan and upload. When next chapter will be completed, notes will be uploaded, you have to complete the copy and then to upload. Okay, this is an ongoing process. Is that clear? Okay, now see the condition in Python. Okay, that is a if. Okay, as we all know very well that if command we have studied in the QBasic also. Okay, but here we are going to read if command in a little different way. See here, the same thing is happening. Exactly what image is there in front of you on the screen. The concept of if is same. The condition is, what condition you are seeing here is the expression. That condition is the expression. Okay, what you are going to make, whether a is greater than 5 or not. Then there are two outcomes. Okay, either a can be greater than 5 or it cannot be greater than 5. It means the outcome can be true or can be false. Understood? Any problem? Okay. So now see, if condition will be true, then it will execute. You can see here conditional code, that is called the body. But if condition will be false, then it will move in the rightward flow and it will directly come to the end. Right? This is exactly the concept of if. You are going to the market, the same thing is happening. If uh, this particular brand is available, then conditional code, purchase it. If it will be false, means that brand is not available, then just skip it. Coming to the next, okay, see here, here is the expression of the if command, how you can execute the if in the Python in a very simple way. You have to write the if, right? Syntax. See here, the first is the syntax if, then your expression, then don't forget to mention a colon. Okay, that those dots, and then your statement will follow. See here, the example is given at downside. A is equal to int input, where I'm going to get any input, any value from the user, and then with the help of int function, I'm converting that value to an integer, right? And that value will go and store into the A. Now, our main part is here, this line. I'm going to highlight this line, right? So this is now bold and big. So you can see here, if my expression means value is greater than equal to 61 or 51, sorry, 51, then it will print you have passed. Means if you have scored 51 marks or more, then it will print a message to you that you have passed in the examination. Else, what it will do for else? Anyone? Anyone? Yes, for else it will not show anything because I have not defined anything for the false part. Right. See here, here you can see the conditional code when true. Conditional code when true, but in the right side where this arrow is flowing, okay, there we can write conditional code if false. That is called the if then else. We are looking for the second example. See here, here is the solution. This was a simple only if and true. Only if and true. Right. The false part was not excluded or false part is not included here. But here you can see in this example, this syntax here you can see, and this example you can see, the false part is also included, that when if your marks will be less than 51, okay, then what program will do? In that case, what the program will do? So you can see the code. I'm going to explain it. If expression, right, colon, your statement. This part you have already seen in previous, this first two line which I have highlighted right now, which I have highlighted right now. These two we have already seen in the previous, on the previous slide. If expression, colon, true statement. But if this statement means that expression will be false, in that case what will happen? We will define by the else part. Okay, so for that we will write else, colon, and then your false statement. So you can see here, actually there is a different program, but I'm going to make it the same as what was here on the previous slide. Input, enter your marks, enter your marks. If marks will be greater than or equal to or greater than 50, both are same thing, then you have passed. You have passed. Else you have failed. Else you have failed. Is that clear and visible to you? So understood how simple it is? Is it difficult or simple? You tell me. And this is totally like, and those students who have studied the if else in QBasic, okay, they may also find it very easy. A, input simply if expression is true, then true part, else this false part. One thing you have to pay attention, that colon, because I can understand that sometime, okay, you may forget to mention or give a colon sign. Okay, if you are habitual with the QBasic method, then sometime you may forget to give it, right? But that is not an issue, that you have to pay attention, that we have to give with the if statement and else statement, we have to mention a colon. Any question, or is that clear? Everything is clear to you? Yeah, colon, why we should put the colon? That is a syntax. Okay, sometime when you are writing the program, okay, you have the to give the comma. If you will not give the comma, the program will show the error. Why the comma? Because the comma is a part of syntax, the comma is a part of grammar, and in normal language, what you are using, natural language, Hindi, English, or sometimes you are doing the grammatical mistakes there. That is okay, sometimes the next person will understand. But when you will do such grammatical mistakes with the programming language, your compiler or interpreter will not understand and will show you an error. Understood? Okay. We are coming to the next version. See here, this is called the else if ladder. Ladder means series. Suppose what if you have to print the grade of something. Okay. If you have to print the grade of something, in that case we need the multiple else if, else if, else if, and so on, right? Now see here, actually here syntax I will explain later on. I will take you through the example and then miss just reverse order. See, firstly, I'm receiving, okay, a number from the user. Pay attention on the lines, this side, right side. Okay, right side, which is a darker now. Just a moment, excuse me. Hello, hello, Hakan. 9 Ayush 9G. हाँ 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 आयुष बोलो. हाँ हाँ देखो ऑर्गेनाइजर कौन है उसको वहाँ पे, विनोद सर है क्या? हाँ तो प्लीज, एक्चुअली हम अभी क्लास में, क्लास रही है, ठीक है, प्लीज मुझसे कॉल पे या फिर मैं क्लास टीचर को इन्फॉर्म करो, ओके? Am I audible? Hello, hello. Am I audible? Okay, good. Fine. So sorry for interruption. Actually, sometimes some calls keeps coming. So, okay. So you can see here. Okay, so I have taken one number in the variable a, right, from the user, and now here I'm comparing that if a is if a is less than 200, then what to do? Print expression value is less than, or number entered by the user is less than 200. Okay, number is less than 200. But see, in that, again I'm opening the another if. Inside that if, I will explain this to you later after this, right? I'm opening one more if inside that. If a is equal to 150, then print which is 150, the number is 150. Okay, if else if, for else if, what syntax we're using? ELIF. We don't write here the full else, ELSE, we write all in short elif, ELIF. Else if a is equal to 100, then print the number, the value which is 100, any masses. Then else if a is equal to 50, else if a is equal to 50, then print which is 50, this number is 50. Else if a is less than 50, then print expression value is less than 50, right? If, now check condition once more. If again this is not, any of this condition is not going to met, means why the you may ask that less than 50 I have written here. So if user will enter 1, then also it will print expression value is less than 50. But suppose user might have entered some other different characters, some symbol, like user may have knowingly entered the percent sign, or user may have entered a character alphabet A B C D something. In that case, what will happen? Okay, your condition will become false here only if a is less than 200, and directly it will come to the false part. Print could not find true expression because user has entered either a symbol or an alphabet, and will print goodbye and it will exit. Is that clear, or may I need to explain it again? Okay, two conditions. Number one, if a is less than 200 is equal to false. A is less than 200 will become the false. Directly it will come here. Print could not find true expression. Goodbye. But if A is less than 200, in that case, it will again print number is less than 200, and it will start checking. If number is less than 200, then exactly what the number is. Maybe user, and what are the possible reason? Maybe number is more than 200, or maybe some other character, other symbols user has entered. In case if user has entered the any other symbols and number, sorry, other symbol or alphabet, then the Python will give you an error also. In that case, Python will give you an error also. So you need to be the careful here. Understood? Any question? Anyone? Any question? Guys, you need to practice at least once, right? By the way, I will show you here. Okay, now we are switching on the loop. Anybody any queries from the if command? Okay, uh, firstly let's explain and understand this all these theoretical parts, and then we'll switch on the coding part. Mm, what is looping? Anyone? Hello? repetition. Okay, repetition, somewhere you have seen the iteration, repeating that thing until a condition is not fulfilled. Okay, these things are called or considered as the what? Just a minute. These things are called the loop. We can see here how we can define a loop in Python. There is exactly while loop. The loop will execute. It will check condition is true or false. Condition is true. Then it will increase the value by 1. It will go back. Again, it will check the condition. A has become 10. No. Again, go back. Increase the value of A by 1. Again, go check. A is 10. No. Okay. A is less than 10. Okay. See here. Pay attention. You might get confused. This is the loop is executing. The value of A is equal to 1. And the condition I'm going to check if A is less than equal to 10. So what is the value of my A now? 1. So condition is A is less than equal to 10. True or false? The starting value of A is 1 and condition I'm going to check A is less than equal to 10. So condition will evaluate true or false. True. So it will go to the true part. Conditional code. It will increase the value of A by 1. A is equal to A is equal to A plus 1. And again the A will become what? What the value of A will become? 2. Now again it will check the 2 is less than 10 or not. See here, I'm going to write it on the screen so there will be the more clarity. A is equal to 1, okay, while A is less than equal to 10. Just simple arm writing, I'm not in syntax of Python. Okay, then A is equal to A plus 1. Fine. Now, so and at last, print loop index, right? So as the value of A will become 11, this loop will exit and it will print on 11th repetition loop index. This is exactly explained here in this diagram. The same thing what code I have written here. While A is less than equal to 10 is your condition and A is equal to A plus 1 is your conditional code. Now let's see here. In Python we have the two types of loop mainly. The first is a while loop and second is a for loop. For loop is a quite easier. Okay, for loop we need, what is the main difference? Okay, when you know that exactly we need to run our loop for 10 times, then you should go for the for loop. But you don't know that how many times my loop should run. Okay, but you have the condition that unless, okay, uh, you that particular student will not do the 10 time up and down, loop will keep running. Okay, but in for loop, okay, he has to do the 10. Means when you have the certainty, okay, that certain things are there, then go with the for loop. When you have uncertain things, uncertain feature, okay, based on some condition, then choose the while loop. See here, this is a syntax of the while loop. This is quite simple, right? In for loop, you people have to read one function also, but there is a no such need with the for while loop. You can see the syntax at the top here. The syntax is given at the top. While expression, then your statements means that is the statements are your loop body. Okay, and counter refers to the A is equal to A plus 1, where every time you are increasing the value of your conditional variable on which you are checking the condition, right? Actually, in while loop, this value will not increase automatically. You have to write a counter. Okay, see here the counter is written A is equal to A plus 1. But in for loop, you need not to write a counter. In for loop, you don't have to write a counter. Now let's understand this, the loop. A is equal to 1 means what is the starting value of A? What is it? 1. Fine. So now on next line number 2, we are going to check while A is less than equal to 10. Okay, condition is what? A is less than equal to 10. So it will print the number is A into 9. So what it will print? 9. Now the value of A will increase by 1. A is equal to A plus 1 and it will go back to the while. So now what is the value of A? Sorry. Now what is the value of A? Now the no 2. See, first time it has printed A into 9. Okay, that is the 1 into 9. So now as the program will reach to the line number 4, okay, 1 is equal to 1 plus 1. This is the assignment operator. This equal to is called the assignment operator. And 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, 1, both will be added together and will get overwritten on the A. Right? So now what will the value of A? 2. So now why? It will check here. 2 is less than equal to 10. Yes or no? Yes. So of course it will come in the loop body and it will print the number is 2 into 9. So now what it will print? 18. 18. Now assume it has run and executed. Now it has come to the last. Okay. Now the value of A is 10 and 10. So now 10 is equal to 10 plus 1. So value of A will become 11. Fine. So now while 11 is less than equal to 10, true or false? False. So now as it will become false, the counter, the loop body will end. Now loop will not run any further. This is the way how the while loop is working. Any question from the while loop? And you can write any number of a statement. It's not necessary that only one line in a while loop you will write. Any number of a statement you can write depending upon the program, right? Now which we have, oh, okay, I'm switching to the Python script. Now guys, see here, here we are in the Python window, right? The first example was there of if mm, int input. The screen is visible to you. Enter any number. Okay, see, a input, enter any number. The user has entered the number, right? Now if expression a is less than equal to 10, less than 10, less than 10 it means a 9. If a is less than 10, then what we have to do, sorry, even I forget to give this, right? Then what we have to do, we can write our own statement. Print number is a one digit number and int. Any problem in this code? Now let's run it. Yeah, this is wrong. Just a moment, let me check why it is showing the error despite everything is right. Anyway, anything possibly I have missed that in this syntax? Standard 8. You have the book in front of you? You have the book in front of you? A match from the book? Am I missing anything? Match from the book? The if command? Then this is a working well. Have you opened the book? Check that. What is missing here in this? That is not an issue. Uh, double bracket, na double quotation mark, na. This you are talking. This one. That is not an issue. Closing bracket. Oh, yes. You have pointed out exactly correct. Now it's right. I have left one of the brackets. Thanks. What a silly mistake was this? Okay, fine. So enter a number. The number is 6, and now the number is a one digit number, right? Guys, pay attention. What silly mistake I did here? I was opening the two parentheses, but I was closing the one parenthesis, and not at all I was looking for that, right? So you have to pay attention that you should not do such silly mistakes. Okay, this may happen even, and this is not first time. Earlier also this had happened with me. Okay, that I had opened the five parentheses, but just I had closed the six parentheses mistakenly, and I was finding the error in the whole program, but I was not paying attention on the number of parentheses. Clear? So now the if command is clear to you. Now check, we are going to see for the else part. Just press here and write else, right? And for the else, if the number is not a one digit number, the number will be what? Of course, a two digit number. In such case, run the program. Now, see, this error has come because of the alignment, right? You have to properly align your these if and else. See here, if has written here, okay, then there is a tab. Okay, automatically it has come at some distance. Means what you are using? Indent, na? Indentation. And then your else should reflect a bit separate. Means these all should not be in a single straight line. It is not matching. Now see, so you have to pay attention on this indent, that your if command, print statement and else, these all should be properly indented. Indentation, that is called the tab spacing, that should be a proper. Now we are going to see the example of if else. Enter a number. The number is 20. The number is a two digit number. Any doubt? Run it once more. My system has become a bit slow. Now 2. When I had entered the number, that is enter in number 2, the number is a one digit number. Clear? Okay guys, else if this is the assignment for you. Okay, you have to make a program in Python. You have to make a program in Python where you where you will enter a grade A, B, C, right? And according to the grading or according to the number, okay, like if number is less than 10, then it will print C grade. If number is between 11 to 20, then it will print B grade. And if number is between 21 to 30, then it will print A grade, right? If number is not within this range, then it will print fail. Okay, on the basis of else if, you have to make one program and you need to send the code on the Teams to me. This I'm leaving for you for the your self learning, or the for the self, right? You can take this screenshot of this else if, or you have the book, you can take the reference from there. Clear? Okay, now we are going for the for loop. Just a minute, let me open a previous file of the for loop. It's not here. See here, here we have a program written for the for loop here in front of us on the screen. Is it visible? Now check. Okay, now just I'm going to explain this program to you. Here, this is a very simple input statement. Hope there is a no doubt. Simple input. Now the second statement. Okay, here see here, this is your for loop, right? Now you may have one question that I'm taking a integer into the a, then I'm using the variable here for b. But pay attention to one thing. Okay, here see the second line. Print a into b. Two variables I have used. How many variables are here on this line? Last line, two. That is a into b. That is a into b. Now just reverse engineering. Means not from the beginning to the last. I'm going from the last to beginning. So 2, it will print the value of a given table, right? A number which the user will enter. Now, from where this value of A and B will come? Like in the previous example, 9 into 1, 9 into 2, 9 into 3, 9 into 4, and so on. So, the one value is entered by the user here through the A. In the A, the value has been entered by the user, right? So, now A is a constant, A is fixed. A is fixed. Now come for the for loop. In a for loop, what you have the syntax? For b. This is your variable which will run for the given number to the last number. Means given number to the end number or starting number to the end number. Right? In range. Range is a function. Range is not the part of for. Range is not the part of for. Range is a function. Right? So what is the use and syntax of the range function? Range function is mainly used with the for loop. Range function, okay, comes with the for loop. Okay, in range function you can see this is the first, this is the start value. I'm writing at the downside. Range start end plus one and stay. This is the syntax of range function, right? Now let me explain you. Start. So my this range is starting at what value? 1. Now end plus 1. So my this range will end at which value? 10. And what will be the step every time, at what gap it will execute? Means what value will be added every time? 1. It means it will start at 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and at it will stop finally at 10. Now you may have the one question that why it is written here the int plus 1. According to the syntax of range, it stops always before the end. Means what last value you have given, it will end before that. So if I will give the 10 here, so it will stop at 9. So that's why you have given the 11 here, so it will stop at 10. Is that clear? Any question or confusion? Guys, you have to study, you have to read. Okay, so if you will not understand well, and of course you also have to put your efforts in understanding. Okay, so if you have any doubt, feel free to raise a question. Even you can send the questions later also to me. Let's run the program. Enter a number. Now code is here this side. This code is here this side on this screen. Enter a number. I'm entering a number 25. Is it visible? Now press enter. Now what we got here? Anybody? Sorry? I don't understand. It will, hello, it will, hello, loop. Yeah, this is the loop. Okay, so whatever the numbers you are entering here, it is going to print the table of that. Enter number 2 and 2 to 20. Here you need to understand here the whole work lies with a single line. This for B in range, for B in what? Okay, in the range. Now range function, what is the work of the range function? Range function is used to define a range. Means from the start value to end plus 1, that is exactly the one, okay, extra from your end value what you need and your step value. Suppose if I'm going to write the step value 2, then what it will print? Yes, let's see with the 5. Okay, 5. Then every time the value will increase by 2. 5 into 1, 5 into 3, 5 into 5, 5 into 7, and 5 into 9. Understood? Now, do you have any question from the for loop? Suppose, guys, if I may tell you that write a program to print your name 10 times. So, how will you do? Anyone? Hello. Okay. A into 10. We can go through this way also. See what I have written here. Nothing. Enter your name and 10 times Ashish. Right. If you wish, you can just give the space here. Space and Ashish. Right. So how this is handling the string? If you want to repeat the string, with the string you have to give the string into how many times you need. Here the asterisk, see, I'm using the multiplication sign only, but it works differently with this. Any doubt?